Okay, so this week for our lesson online, we have a pretty simple art kit. Let me show you. I have some glue sticks, a pair of scissors, and a black marker. If you want to use your colorful markers, you can absolutely do that as well. I might just add them to my kit just to make sure I have everything I need. Okay, I also am going to need a piece of paper, and here's where you get some choice. You are going to need a picture of a person today. You can print one online, or you can hunt through magazines to look for something. It can be anything you want. I did a couple different things. I printed a picture from the internet. This is a portrait of Vincent van Gogh, and I cut out his face just like that. So you can do something like that. I also took a picture of me on vacation at a museum and cut my face out like that. Or you can hunt through a magazine. I found an old magazine here and I cut the picture out just like this. So you have options on what you can do. If you want something more colorful, you can hunt through magazines, you can hunt through newspapers, anything that you want. Or you can print something from online. That's up to you. Or you can just draw a portrait of someone. That's your choice. You have a whole bunch of things you can choose from today. But I think I am going to stick with my magazine cutout and save these for another project. Okay. So now I have my portrait. We are going to glue it onto a piece of paper. You can use white paper, you can use construction paper, it's entirely up to you. I am trying to keep my kit as simple as possible in case you don't have any of these supplies at home. Okay, so I'm going to get out my glue and I am going to glue my portrait onto my background. Now, I wonder what it would look like if I had less. I think I'm going to cut this just a little bit more. Yeah, that looks good. I want to try have as much room on the paper as possible, and you'll see why in a minute. There we go. I like that a lot. All right, now I am going to glue my portrait to my paper. There's another one on the back. And you want to make sure that you do not use too much glue that your paper gets soggy, but you don't want to use too little glue that it doesn't stick to your background paper. You want to definitely use the Goldilocks method with glue. Not too much, not too little, just right. I really like stick glue for projects like this because it doesn't leave a whole lot of bumpy residue when it dries. But if you have liquid glue, that works just fine too. Now I'm going to glue my portrait onto my background. Line it up. And I'm going to do my best to make sure it is all smoothed out. I see some glue came out the sides, so I'm just going to rub that in like that. And that will help bind the picture to the paper and make things as seamless as possible. Okay? There we go. There is my step one. So this week we are focusing on line. And we know that line can represent movement, it can represent form, and it can also just help us give our piece a more complete look. Now, I think I want to add a lot of detail to this. I want to go slow, but I think I'm going to use lines to make things coming out of my portrait's head, like his imagination is spilling onto the page. I think I'm going to start that by drawing some simple curvy lines. Curvy lines are a great way to represent movement. Okay, I think I might also do some zigzag lines too. Maybe some short lines like this. Okay. I think I might also draw some shapes. Maybe like a light bulb. Some stars. Maybe some like fluffy explosions. Okay, and I'm going to keep going. My goal here is that I'm trying to represent this kid's imagination because he's making like the thinking face. So I want to have like his imagination spilling out onto the paper. If I were doing a self-portrait with myself, I could be drawing my hair, I could be drawing another world around me. It's up to you.
Apart if you give them the chance. Don't sell your heart, don't say we're not meant to be. Run, baby, run, forever we'll be. Run, baby, run, don't ever look back. They'll tear us apart if you give them the chance. Don't sell your heart.
Okay, friends, here is my finished piece filled with lines and shapes and everything I could think of. I do want to mention that while I was coloring in with my marker, I noticed it was bleeding through and I didn't want to ruin my table, so I put another piece of paper underneath. You might want to do that too, because look at all that color. That looks kind of cool too. Maybe we'll do a piece like that someday with negative space. But for today, I'm really pleased with how this looks. There are probably a few more details that I'd like to add that I may go back later and work on, but for now, it is your decision. Do you want to add color, or do you want to leave it in black and white? If you want to add color, you have to choose on whether you want to use crayons, colored pencils, markers, or a mix of all of them. You just have to be careful because when we have a piece with so many lines, it adds so much visual interest. We don't want to overpower it with a ton of color as well. So I as well think I need to think for a little bit longer on whether I want to add color. But for today, I am really pleased with our line work. So I cannot wait to see the things that you create, and I will see you next time.